Hi, it's DM. Thank you so much for stopping by the Cutesy Shelf. And if this is your first time here, welcome. I know that it's been about a minute since I posted a video, but I have been crafting all this time. And the thing is, when I start crafting, I like to start multiple projects at the same time. And the only problem with that is that everything is half done. And now that I'm running out of space on my craft tables, I thought I'd better wrap things up and start sharing some of it with you so that I could put it away. And even though I do have a lot of design team stuff to share with you, I thought I'd come on and show some personal things that I've been working on since it's been a while since I posted a video. So what you see before you are some dies that I picked up from AliExpress. And I've seen these dies around for a couple months now, and I thought they're very interesting because they have a ruffle border and they also have embossing details as well as stitching details, and they come in different shapes. So I picked up the circles as well as the squares, and each of these come with 3 different sizes, and the largest size measures, it's a really good size, it measures 6.5 inches wide. I also picked up the heart shape, and I love this so much that I went back and got this rectangle shape. I didn't pick this up the first time because I wasn't too thrilled about this piece here, as you can't put much onto this particular piece here, but I did go back and get this. And then for today's projects, I also use these banner dies, and this is a die from the Beki Store. I'm going to be putting a link to everything in the description box below. And then for my projects, I also took out these very intricate dies that I have. And I really love using these dies in the background of projects because they add such a nice dainty detail. So these are some of the ones that I pulled out. And I could put a link to these in the description box below as well if I can find them. And then for today's project, I also use these ones, which are butterflies, and they're very dainty. And then this is a new die set that I picked up as well. It's in a baby theme. And in particular, I use the safety pin as well as the rattle here, and it comes with this little bow here. So you get a lot of pieces in this. So let me show you what I made. I decided to make some embellishments, and I was really impressed with how beautiful these dies are. The embossing and stitching details really give it that ruffled look. For each of these examples, I used the smallest size die. I also punched a hole at the bottom so that I could hang a charm. For example, this one has a bunny with a flower in its head. Here's an example of the square-shaped one, and this one's got a charm of a onesie that says baby. For each of these, I also backed them using 110-pound cardstock. That way they'd be very sturdy. And even though the die doesn't come with a layering piece, you could create your own by cutting out another piece of paper, cutting the border off, and in this case, I just used an X-Acto knife. That way I could get in there with my scissors, and that way you could keep the border for another project. For the piece in the center, I also layered it using some foam board from the Dollar Tree just to give this more dimension. And then here's an example of the heart-shaped one, which I think is so beautiful. And this one's got a charm of a pacifier. So these are in a woodland creature theme. And the images come from the Bunny Cloud shop on Etsy, which I could put a link to in the description box below. But what I did is I imported the images into my Silhouette machine, sized them. I also wanted them to have an offset, so I gave them an offset, cut them out with my machine, and then I layered them onto a intricate die cut piece. And for the intricate die cuts, I just cut those out using some glitter paper to give this more interest. I decorated these using gems as well as buttons. The bow is a Queen and Company bow. So these are the first set of embellishments that I made. And here's the second set. So for example, here's another example of the square-shaped one. And this one's got a charm of a stork. And I found those charms off of AliExpress. They came fairly quickly within 2 weeks. I could put a link to them in the description box below as well. And then here's another one of the circular ones. And then for this circular one, if you're gonna put an image on it like I did, I just made sure that this top piece and bottom piece lined up so that when I punch this hole here to add this charm, the charm's not wonky. So if that matters to you, you might wanna like keep that in mind. And for each of these, I also used the banner die from the Beki Store to add a sentiment. And this one's got a teddy bear charm on it. For the border of this one, I did cut it out using some plaid or gingham paper. And so for those banner dies, they don't come with a layering piece. I actually created that layering piece myself just by cutting out this piece again, cutting a sliver around it. And then what I did is I took that shape, I scanned it as a JPEG. That way it's gonna be true to size when I bring it into my silhouette program. And that way I was able to create a layering piece as well as add sentiments to those pieces. So that's how I created those sentiments. And I think this is a really cute die set. You could use it for all sorts of things, such as you could turn these into ornaments, tags, you could put them onto cards, and you could also put them into mini albums. So many uses, and I think they're really beautiful. I also wanted to share some of the ornaments that I've been making. And these ornaments are made from crepe paper as well as doilies, so they're very inexpensive to make. This one also has some die cuts of safety pins in which I cut out using glitter as well as plain cardstock. In the background, I also used a greenery die in which I cut out using some white cardstock. And for all the background pieces on these ornaments, I cut them out using white cardstock. And then here's another example. And as we all know, doilies are very delicate. They rip easily. So what you can do is, if you have enough doilies, you can just layer several of them together, for example, maybe 3. But in my case, I didn't have enough. So what I did is I just scanned this doily into my silhouette program. That way I was able to cut out this piece using 65-pound cardstock to layer it on the back. And that way it's more sturdy. For each of these, I also added a hanging element at the top there. It's kind of hard to see because I cut that out using some acetate. And I did that so that it doesn't rip easily. And also that way I didn't have to cut many layers. And that hanging element was made using this die, which comes from ScrapDiva Designs. And it's a part of the Lipstick Box die set. So that's what I used. And I just sandwiched that acetate piece in between the doily as well as the cardstock on the back. And then for the rest of the other ornaments here, I just used other doily dies in the background here. And I cut out 2 layers to make them very sturdy. And for each of these, I also added a star charm that I made to the bottom. For each of these as well, I also used the banner die to add this sentiment to them. So very simple to make. And I also added a satin bow, which I shared in a previous haul. So that's the first set that I made. And then let me bring in the second set here. So these were really fun to make. Again, they feature those images from the Bunny Cloud shop. And then here's another one. There's a baby rattle on this one. I think it's so cute. This one's got a deer. I also added the strawberry die cut and the strawberry vines. You could also put these on a banner as well. You could easily string like some twine through those holes and turn it into a banner if you wanted to as well. And then the last one. And I think these are so adorable. I hope you like these images as much as I do, because for the next few videos on my channel, they're gonna feature these images because I've been on a cutesy kick with these images and been making everything using them. So I really hope you enjoyed that. Let me just zoom out and bring everything back into frame. Oh, before I show you everything together, I just wanted to show you how cute this ornament would look if it was backed onto one of these ruffle border pieces. And this is the second largest size. So if you wanted to make a sturdy banner, for example, you could put this onto this, or it would look really great as a wand as well. So I just wanted to show you how cute that would be. Here's another look at some of the ornaments and embellishments that I've made. I hope it's inspired you. I'm going to be putting a link to everything in the description box below. If you have any questions or comments, just let me know. I really want to thank everyone for watching. Bye!